Every year around this time, people reset new goals, new routines, new plans, new systems. It feels very exciting because new releases dopamine. Planning feels like progress, starting feels so powerful, and the reset feels productive. But then the excitement fades away, progress feels slow, results don't show up fast enough, uncertainty kicks in. And when that discomfort shows up, most people don't stay. They pivot, they look for something new, a new plan, a new routine, a new strategy. Not because the original one was wrong, but because the brain wants the relief of starting again. That cycle is the reason most people are stuck in financial anxiety and stress because they never stay in the one system long enough for it to compound. This is also why most people miss the biggest shift in their lifetime. Change feels threatening before it feels profitable. When something new shows up, a new system, a new way of doing money, a new way of building wealth, most people don't evaluate it objectively. They evaluate it emotionally. They compare it to what they already know. They defend what feels familiar. And without realizing it, they reject the future before they understand it. This pattern repeats in careers, in market, in technology, and wealth. We don't miss opportunities because we lack intelligence. We miss opportunities because our identity is tied to the current system and we fight to defend, to protect, and to keep it. Familiar systems feel safe even when they're outdated, inefficient, or quietly failing. For example, they taught us to go to school, work for 40 years, and then retire. But we can clearly see that that's not working out anymore. A lot of older people cannot afford to retire, and most retire and become homeless, broke, and sick. It is very sad because that system is outdated. So when something challenges that structure that we currently have, the brain protects what it already understands. That's why new systems are rarely embraced in the beginning. They are questioned, dismissed, or ignored because understanding them requires unlearning what used to work. And unlearning is uncomfortable. The people who build wealth and have financial freedom long term, they're not chasing certainty. They are building systems that can survive uncertainty. They don't need constant motivation. They don't need immediate results. They don't need excitement to continue. They stay long enough for the structure to form. That is the real difference. The 1% doesn't have secret information. They see the same headlines we all do. They have the same access that we all do. But the difference is tolerance. Tolerance for boredom, tolerance for slow progress, tolerance for letting a system do its job. Most people want clarity before they commit. The people who stay ahead commit when the direction makes sense, not when the outcome is guaranteed. They don't chase results, they study transition. And this applies to how you manage your income, how you invest, how you stop restarting every year, how you build a system that keeps working when motivation disappears. Because motivation is not a strategy, willpower is not a plan, and discipline, it breaks under pressure. But a system doesn't. You want a system that works even when you're tired, you're discouraged, you're uncertain, that works when progress feels invisible. A system that removes decision making, removes emotional interference, and keeps moving even when you don't feel inspired. That's how wealth and financial freedom is built, not through yearly resets, but through staying long enough for compounding to do what motivation never can do. So here's a system that finally moved me as a very regular person just like you. No finance degree, no financial background. I started so late. At 38 years old was when I made my first investment. An immigrant who had no clue how money works in America. Paycheck to paycheck life. Overwhelmed with debt because I didn't understand systems and leverage. Financial anxiety and panic. To building a seven-figure net worth. Money flowing, debt gone. Investment giving me passive income. Financial peace, stability, and the option to live life on my own terms without any hustle culture and with no burnout. Step one, know your starting line. You cannot move forward if you don't know where you currently are. So all you need is these four numbers. What comes in? What goes out? What do you save? And what is left? No shame, no judgment, just pure honesty in this step. This step alone brings clarity most people avoid their entire lives. Knowing these four numbers will give you a level of peace that you didn't have a few minutes ago. Step 2, calculate your survival cost. This is not lifestyle, this is survival. What do you need to not be homeless, to not lose your job, to not spiral? I'm talking about housing. How much do you spend in rent, mortgage, utilities, transportation, food? Add these numbers up. This is your financial oxygen. Step 3, I call this shave the fat. I promise you this is temporary. You will go back to your regular fun life. This is just a temporary thing that you need to build your foundation. Look at the last 3 to 6 months of your spending and ask these questions. What am I paying for but not really using? What am I spending to cope? What habits are draining me? So you cancel those, reduce, or you negotiate streaming services, subscriptions. If you can cut down on alcohol and smoking, cut down on impulse spending, you renegotiate your phone, insurance, internet, compare rates, and move to competitors if you need to. You can also downsize as much as you can here to save money. Again, I promise this is just temporary. When I do this with a lot of women, they save about $2,000 here alone. This is temporary focus to build permanent peace. Step 4, build 3 months of your survival cost. Take the money that you freed up from step 3 and build 3 months only of your survival cost for now. Not investment, not crypto, not stocks. Safety first. This is where financial panic starts to quiet down and really give you a picture of what financial peace can be. Step 5, kill high interest debt. So write out every debt balance and interest. Start with a small balance that has high interest because momentum is greater than math perfection. Pay off aggressively using that excess in step 3. Each paid off debt removes mental weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. Step 6, expand safety to 6 to 12 months. Once your high interest debt is gone, go back and build out your emergency fund. Some people ask, what should I have in my emergency fund? I always use this rule of thumb. If you have a stable income, 6 months is good. If you have an inconsistent income, for example, you're a freelancer or you are a business owner, I would say 6 to 12 months. Now, this fund protects you from job loss, from sickness, from burnout, from needing to say yes when you should say no. Step 7, build protection. Don't be an unprotected provider. This is how you protect yourself and your loved ones. Get an IUL, not whole life insurance, not term insurance, Index Universal Life. I have had it for about 7 years now, and I can tell you about it. Index Universal Life protects your children if something happens to you. It provides income replacement if you got sick and you couldn't work. You can literally pull from there and use. It builds tax advantage cash flow because no tax and no penalty when you loan from it. It creates a safety net and a growth engine for you. So you and your children benefit from it while you're still alive and when you actually need it. I've had to use it multiple times. When you're done building that, when you set that up and you automate money to be going in there, the next thing is for you to max out your employer 401k match. Then you set up automation to max out your Roth IRA. When you're done with that, you open a brokerage account and begin to invest in a low cost index fund. You run the system for at least 5 years. I think most people would say 5 years is too long. 5 years will pass regardless of what you do. But my question to you is, in 5 years, will you have peace and options, or will you still be stuck in financial anxiety? Will you have stability, or will you still be in survival mode? We have the same information as the top 1%. We see the same headlines they do. We have the same access they do. The difference is not intelligence or opportunities, is what happens during discomfort. What happens when the market feels uncertain, when expenses show up unexpectedly, when life gets heavy and emotions get very loud. Most people interfere with the system. They stop their system. They move money out. They react. They sell. But the top 1%, they stay. They let the system run, especially when it's uncomfortable, because that is when growth actually happens. If you let the system run without touching it, your bills will be paid before stress shows up. You will have 6 to 12 months of savings. So panic and financial anxiety will be eliminated. You will be debt free and you'll be protected in case of job loss, sickness. Your money will grow without constant decision making. But if you keep interrupting emotionally, then nothing changes. Now, you will not be a billionaire in 5 years, but I can promise you financial anxiety and fear will just relocate away from you and you'll feel peace, stability, and the options to live life on your own terms. And that is what real wealth and financial freedom is about. I am a living testament of what this system can do. Through trial and error, I have had first-hand experience of this. Imagine how fast and easier it can be for you if you have the guidance, if you have someone holding you accountable. I still have my free coaching call if you need someone to hold you accountable, to guide you and hold your hand through it. Now, because it's free, it fills out way faster. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next video.